Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Currency of Anarchy. I'm Josh Davis.
Michael Freeman.
And if you'd like to be a part of the discussion during our live tapings, please check us out at youtube.com/user/Cur of Anarchy on Mondays at 9 p.m., 6 p.m. Pacific. And you can see the final product on the same channel, youtube.com/user/Cur of Anarchy on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. And please check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/Cur of Anarchy. If you're here during the live taping, you can post any questions and comments in the new thread we've made, or send us a Facebook message, and we'll certainly get to it. And now a word from our sponsors.
Holly Cogburn runs Homebody, a body care, vanity, and cosmetic products company. She contracts using USD, Bitcoin, and barter. She is proud to say that she started the business without the assistance of bank loans. In her words, fuck bank loans and fuck their interest rates. For the most part, fuck banks. She has paid her startup costs out of pocket and has steadily and sustainably grown from there. She believes in a free, fair, and reputation-based market, relying on word of mouth. So please, find Holly at homebodyco.com or facebook.com/homebodyco.
Michael, we have a special guest, a not 15-year-old, but a 17-year-old who goes to public school. Yeah, take it away, Michael.
I will. Right. So a few, months ago, weeks ago, it all bleeds together. Who keeps track of the human construct of arbitrary time, right? But some certain time frame ago, I ran into this kid online, and he saw some of my YouTube content. I saw some of his. We decided to go ahead and kind of highlight each other on our YouTube channels, whatever. And he's a libertarian/anarchist YouTube content producer, 17-year-old kid, public school student. Zane, what's up, buddy?
Well, first I'd like to clarify, I have dual enrollment in both public school and homeschool, so I take classes at some classes at the high school and some classes at my house.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of how it works, which is great because I can do that with the school here, but apparently you can't do that in a lot of places.
No. And the school here, where are you located?
I am in the Four Corners section of Colorado.
So you smoke weed?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Everyone here does. Everyone here does, but not me.
Right on. That's okay. Make your own decisions. I know you're a pretty active person, and I know you stay physically fit, so I'd imagine that you kind of want to keep your lungs in tip-top shape. So
it's not exactly because of a physically fit idea. It's just more like I don't like the idea of it. I don't know.
Okay.
Not my thing.
Because I actually kind of do like the idea of it, and I'd just like to get your perspective on why don't you? Or more importantly, would you oppose other people utilizing cannabis?
Well, no, I wouldn't let. Okay, how should I phrase this? I would let everyone, if they want to, use cannabis because it's not harmful, really. It's just their choice to do it. And in fact, we just opened a medical marijuana store in my town, and I am super happy about it. Woohoo! Sweet. Except the prices are way too high, and I'm not even going to get any.
No.
So.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's my position is that even if it is harmful to you, it's your body. One of my first principles is self-ownership, and I heard a really cool Walter E. Williams interview earlier today on some garbage podcast run by Chris Cantwell, former Currency of Anarchy guest. And he went as far as to the fact to say that it's his body. He can sell his heart if he really wants to, right? You are free to harm yourself, I think.
Well, yeah, of course.
Right on.
I mean, ownership over your own body.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. So the way we like to start this, and I think we're all going to appreciate your different perspective than we have. I didn't find the ideas of individual liberty until I was about 22, 23. So how did you come to find these ideas?
So, boy, while I've kind of had like the same ideas throughout my life, is like don't screw around with anybody, and for the most part, before I knew what a libertarian was, I was kind of more Republican-leaning person that just was against the drug war, against the war, and was for gay marriage and all that stuff, you know. And my parents were like totally down with that because they felt the same way. And I kind of grew on that. Then when I was like a freshman in high school, I took this like political test thing to see where my ideology lines up because I hadn't been super interested in politics before then. And it showed Gary Johnson as the candidate I most closely align with. And this was like 2012, so it was an election year.
Sure.
So I did some research on him, and it turns out he was the governor of the great, amazing state I was born in,
Arizona.
Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice
okay.
try.
Okay. Josh, edit that out, okay?
New Mexico, but yeah, and I got to see him talk in UNM once, and it was really good. Man, that man, he's inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, I don't vote. I don't think that I need anybody to rule over me. I don't think that electing the right person is going to change an inherently fraudulent and illegitimate system. However, I don't have much negative things that I could say about somebody like Gary Johnson or Ron Paul or, you know, some of the libertarian candidates of the past, right? I won't be voting for Gary Johnson, but if somebody has to be elected for president this time in 2016, I guess I hope it's him.
Guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, you're going for Rand Paul, right?
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Like, my thing is, I've never voted in my life anyway, and yeah, no, I will never ever touch a Republican at all. Oh, touch a Republican? What did I say? That? Yeah,
Same.
no.
I'll be a Republican if you touch me, baby.
Oh, that feels so good.
I know. I'll make you feel good all night, Josh.
Oh man, this is going nowhere. Okay, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
PG-13.
See, I wouldn't even have voted for Ron Paul in a libertarian seat. I wouldn't even have done that. I think that it is really, really wrong for me to invoke my will against other people through force, regardless of what I believe. Even if I believe that you all have the right to be free, I don't want to say that. Even if I believe that you all have the right to be free and independent people, I'm still not going to force you into it.
The problem is you have stated that you would push the red button if it got rid of the government, you know? And I can't accept that, you know? I can't do that. It'd have to be done through education or something.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point, actually. I was going to try to come up with some clever quip to shoot you down, but that's a pretty good point, and let me get back to you next week.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, there's a particular Rothbard essay that I want to pull a quote out of, but I just can't come up with it right now, so
cool.
bring that back up next week. That's a good point.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
But I would end the state right now. You have a red button on your body right now, dude.
This whole thing. But still,
are we touching bodies again?
But yeah, don't touch me. Yeah, exactly. Oh man. If I might, can I ask you a question, Zane? Have you ever thought about like monetary systems at all? Are you interested in like Bitcoin or altcoins or gold, silver, platinum, that crap?
Okay, so I have some Bitcoin because I'm like kinda iffy active on the Dogecoin Reddit.
Ooh,
Did I say Bitcoin earlier?
You did.
I don't know.
I did. I do not have Bitcoin. I have Dogecoin.
Wow, I approve.
Anyways, so that's basically it. I do not have very much at all. I don't really
Well,
know
I'm
much.
not. Okay.
I don't know
Yeah, yeah,
much
talk-
about like how cryptocurrencies and normal currencies and like commodities and I don't know gold, silver, whatever work. I'm kind of more knowledgeable in block transaction chains, even though I'm not too
Yes,
knowledgeable
sir.
in that.
You know what? The fact that you know the word commodity and you're 17 kind of tells me that you're already headed in the right direction.
Agreed.
Well,
The
yeah.
fact that you know what the blockchain.
Well, yeah.
you pompous kid.
I fucking love it.
Me too. The fact that you know what the blockchain is puts you ahead of most people who surpass you by 40 years of experience. So, all right.
Well, I mean, what's an anarchist without a little ego?
I'm not
funny,
going to
I
make
was-
a comment about that.
I was in the Walmart today. Yes, I went to Walmart and
In the
went
Walmart.
for corporations and all this other stuff. Yes. So I bought like some cranberry juice and I was in line. There were like 12 registers at this Walmart and only 3 were open, and the lines were enormous. And so I only had like these 2 juices. The lady in front of me saw me with them, and she's like, "Yeah, go ahead. You can go in front of me." And then somehow that sparked, this idea about like currencies and ID chips in your hand. And I'm like, "Have you heard of Bitcoin? Have you ever heard of gold and silver?" And they were just kind of like agreeing with me, but they were definitely highly against like chips in their hand. And I was like, hey, at least some people have their heads in the right place, you know what I mean? But they had no idea what I was talking about when I said Bitcoin, gold, silver, that kind of thing. It's unfortunate, but maybe hopefully it sparked a little interest, but probably not. Just food for thought.
Was the cranberry juice for your vagina?
No, it's you don't even want to know. Just you don't.
No,
wanna know.
nope. That's enough. That's enough. I don't think I want to know. I'd like to sleep nightmare free tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't deal with woman problems very well.
Same.
So, like, I understand how the woman's body works. I understand that the system needs to clean itself out, but I just don't want to do that kind of stuff. Okay. Like the pH
Moving on.
levels and stuff, dude. Like I'm not a pool cleaner, okay? So Zane, we are rambunctious tonight, man. But it's good.
Yeah,
We haven't done this in 2 weeks, and like what I'm really going for tonight is just to make the crowd laugh, just to make the audience laugh and have a good time, and remember why they follow our show, right? So then maybe next week when Josh makes me look like a fool when I can't answer that question he asked me earlier, maybe we'll have a viewer or two, right?
Yeah. Hey, I'm having fun.
Good, man. We appreciate you coming on. But I guess to get back on track, Zane, what were some of your influences? Like, who are some of your influences as far as maybe writers, economists, celebritarians, whatever?
Okay. Until like 2012, nobody. Like the only I had been educated by my parents until like 6th, 7th grade, and then I went to high school taking dual enrollment classes. I mean, like middle school, then high school, of course. But so they I got a lot of their ideas, and their ideas were kind of libertarian based, and they kind of showed me how that worked out in historical aspects through homeschool and stuff, but not really anybody else that I can think of before then.
Did they know that they were libertarian thinking?
No, they were Republicans before then.
Wow.
Interesting.
Like, I think...
Homeschooling Republicans. I would usually assume it's the opposite on that one.
No, it depends on the group, because there are, in Mancus, in the section of the world I live in, it's, you got two sections of homeschoolers. You got the crazy hardcore religious ones that are absolutely Republicans, like probably Tea Party-ish. And then you got the, kind of the libertarian-ish homeschoolers, but more of them are like libertarian socialist.
Now, I despise left libertarians. Now, where you are, is there a kind of an unschool movement? Because
Yes.
Next week we're going to have Sarah Perkins on the show and maybe John Moss we're going to do the unschooling edition of the Currency of Anarchy.
I know
and
some
when
unschoolers.
Like, even when I first heard the term, which was at PorkFest, of all the places for me to be rubbed the wrong way, right? I heard the term and I was like, well, wait a second. What if your kid only wants to learn about candy and Pokemon cards, right? Because that's all I cared about. Larkin Rose, one of the panels that he did, I asked him the question and he walked me through it. My best friend John Moss walked me through it, and I've changed turns. I've flipped the coin, and I think that's probably the best bet at this point. But I know that a lot of people, even among homeschoolers, still consider that to be a very radical idea.
It really is, because a lot of the homeschoolers in my homeschool group kind of didn't seem like the unschoolers were as structured and kind of looked down upon them. Especially
Exactly.
the Christian homeschoolers that usually basically had school at home instead of unschooling or fun schooling.
I don't want to offend anybody, and maybe I do. That's what I thrive on. But
Do it.
Because I think that the Christian conservative homeschoolers are teaching their kids the Bible is fact. And that is the complete and utter opposition of critical thinking, where unschoolers teach their children how to make their own decisions, how to come up with their own Socratic reasoning and deduce a decision based on evidence, reason, and logic, rather than holy documents that were written by over 2,000 anonymous authors over thousands of years, right?
I'd agree with you with that, because most of the Christian homeschoolers that I've met are very, very Christian. Do not get in an argument about theology or anything, because it's gonna hurt.
And the reason that most of these people are probably pulling their children out of school to unschool them through the Bible or whatever, or to reschool them through the Bible or whatever, is probably because they're afraid of ISIS teaching their kids at school, or because they think that "In God We Trust" is going to be pulled out of the national anthem, or off the dollar, or out of the pledge, or whatever, right?
Oh no,
Nonsense.
not off
Oh,
the
God.
dollar.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I know you're into Julie Borowski, and so
She's my bae.
Oh, she's your bae? Can we
Yeah.
quote you
Oh,
on
here
her?
we go.
I think that might be considered statutory rape, and I think her Rand Paul endorsement might not be in line with that. Sorry.
I'll say it again. Julie Borowski is my bae. Zane Goodell, 2015.
And you Zane, you have a YouTube channel that is
Yes, I do.
it's kind of similar to hers a little bit. The way that you're kind of satirical, right? You kind of make everything a joke. You get your point across in a well articulated manner, but you still poke a lot of fun, I think.
And my voice is much better than Julie's.
Oh, you're big.
Oh! To quote Chris Cantwell from I don't want to say which PorkFest this was, but it was a comedy thing at PorkFest. I trust this government like I trust speech therapy from Julie Borowski.
Oh, I've seen that quote. I love that quote.
I trust this government like I trust legal advice from Adam Kokesh. Yeah, and he lost to fucking MK Lords, who did poetry about leftism. At PorkFest, of all fucking places. Ugh.
Ugh,
Yeah.
leftism.
like Julie's not my speed. Like she's not my style more than anything. And I definitely disagree with the whole. And she can call herself an anarchist all she wants, and I'm not sure that she does that. But
she does.
Okay.
He doesn't.
I disagree with the minimalist government sentiments. I completely oppose that. I think it's the exact idea that put us in this position that we're in right now, which failed. Like the Great Experiment didn't work out very well. The Great Experiment turned into the largest empire that the world has ever seen when it was supposed to be the smallest government that the world has ever seen. So I'm just going to have to call that a bad idea.
Worked for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I disagree. I don't know. Is your little bit of 6 years because the Whiskey Rebellion was, another tax against another drink implemented by the same government who left the other government for allegedly.
Okay. Fair point.
But what I can give Julie credit for is she brings a lot of people into these ideas. She's well known. She's well articulated. She does say some really good things, and she brings a lot more people into my team than I do. So.
What can I say? Like, if you have a female celebritarian, they're gonna get a lot more hits on YouTube than, like, I don't know, some kid from Rhode Island smoking weed.
You're not wrong. Very good point, sir. I don't have the boobs. That's why, man. See, I got nothing, dude. Because you'd be surprised. A lot of people actually do like this smoking weed and talking shit thing. There is a target audience there, like we were talking about last night, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's cool. I unfortunately at this point think that the caliber of most women who are prominent figureheads in the prominent figures in the liberty movement is just at an all-time low. I think most of them are liars and incredible, copying other people's ideas and intellectually dishonest, unfortunately. But
yeah, let me expand on that, Michael.
Please.
Because I was on Facebook, because I'm on it a little bit too often lately, but I really am. So I was on someone's Facebook profile debating about a dog picture she posted.
Yep. I already know what you're talking about.
You saw that? Yeah. So basically, she's like, oh, isn't this dog cute? And it was like this rough police dog, the officer is holding, the leash.
German Shepherd, right on.
Sure. And basically it's just a little aggressive. And, so I stated that, yeah, some are just a little bit violent, and it goes against the very idea of liberty. And, it, it's a police dog, just looking for drugs, which is just a substance. So
Michael's looking for drugs too.
I don't use drugs, man. I just trade freely. That's all.
All natural cannabinoids.
Yeah, there's really nothing wrong with any drug. It really isn't. It may be bad for the system, but really, it's your own. Do what you will. Whatever.
I mean, see, I'm going to have to disagree with you. Well, with the first part, because I totally agree with the second part. Heroin is poison. It is. It is poison.
Of course.
Right? And
yeah, it's bad for the body. Of course.
Bad, right? But you're free to be bad to yourself. Whatever.
Right.
Who am I to stop you from hurting your body? If it's yours, if it's really yours, do what you want.
I'm sorry if I misspoke, but I think we're on the same page about this. Yeah, the idea was, someone trained this dog to be aggressive. Normally, animals aren't this aggressive. They might be aggressive in order to eat, or be defensive. But that's really it. In nature, that's all that ever happens. And then, you get, aggressive people, polluting the minds of animals and other minds of humans. And, society gets all fucked up. And, she's like, oh, it's just my opinion. And I'm like, ugh. And then
there's nothing worse that I want to end an argument on than, well, that's my opinion and that's your opinion, or let's just agree to disagree. Because that's not necessarily the case when it comes to philosophy or economics or sociology, right? Like, either you are right or you are wrong. Either
Yeah,
you are a
that's
sophist or you are a philosopher. And that needs to be, in my opinion, viciously attacked.
Well
Bad
said. People don't make up that a point. Well said. Sophist and philosophy, totally
Yeah.
different paradigms.
In my personal opinion, the difference between the two is a sophist is coming from an opinion and building facts up to that up to that deduced end result, right? Where a philosopher is going to take information and figure out what the end result is.
He goes all the way.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
the way with the
Objective.
logic. Yes, absolutely.
I hate that word.
But that's it, Michael.
It
That's
is.
what
It is. I know. It's empirical. It's fact-based and reason-based. It's not just like, I think that I want to think this and I want to portray this message, so I'm going to manipulate facts in order to get up to it. That's a cancer on truth. That is something that needs to be viciously attacked and viciously discredited. Or else, what am I doing here? Right. If my goal is the truth and peace and freedom, then I need to attack things that lie about these ideas.
Right. Yeah, actually, going along the same lines about this animal thing, if you take a lion tamer takes out that self-defense mechanism of the animal, and it's unnatural, and it kind of makes that lion or tiger or whatever, they make them like pathetic. You know, why would you want to see a pathetic lion? You know, that's not what you're going to see.
One of my least favorite places in the world is the zoo. And I don't want to get into the arguments about animals being property and all that stuff, like another time. And I don't even know where I stand. I don't. But like, why do I want to go watch creatures who live and breathe and experience pain and emotion and love and all these things? Like, why do I want to go watch them be in cages and be deprived of their liberty and probably not fed very well and poked at by little kids and have rocks thrown at them and all this crazy shit, right? Like, why do I want to go watch that? I don't.
They're totally depressed.
Exactly. It's a horrible
that's
thing.
The problem. Yeah.
And I don't ever want to. I don't like that stuff. I don't think that any living organism should be tamed or caged or deprived of their individual liberty.
Right.
Well, you
Says the guy who has a dog.
Would you rather go to the zoo, or would you rather go watch American Sniper?
Oh,
Ooh.
I would actually watch American Sniper. You know, I'm a devout anarchist. I oppose the state nearly violently, right? Like philosophically violently, but not in a practical manner.
Well, yeah.
But I enjoy films. I enjoy cinematography. I enjoy movies. I particularly enjoy Clint Eastwood's movies. And I understand it's a propaganda piece. I understand it's a hit piece to you know, against the Arabs or whatever. But maybe I can go sit down and empirically watch that. If I go to the zoo, I'm going to put myself in emotional pain. You know?
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper's
Well,
not
that's
even
a
that
very
bad.
good point.
Like, Bradley Cooper's a pretty good actor. Clint Eastwood's a pretty good director. Like, if you like war movies, I'm sure it's probably a pretty good film. But if you like truth, reason, evidence, logic, then it's probably not your thing. But it's just a movie. Like, if American Sniper is the thing that I need to place my effort in, I'm going to lose this fight so very, very bad. Because I think that's what they... I don't know who they is. I really don't. But I think that's what they want, right? Let's divide the masses over this stupid film about some guy who's probably lying about all of it and make them fight each other about that. And let's, you know, let's just skip over net neutrality. Let's just skip over the fact that the police kill more people than Iraq or Afghanistan ever did, right?
Or that Bitcoin, silver, and gold are going down every day. Well, what's going on there?
All right.
Silver went up this morning.
Oh, yay. It's still in the 15s. Something's wrong.
Fucking the one time I try to be optimistic. Thanks, buddy.
Sorry. Gonna take it back. Yeah, so actually, just let's go over these prices. Last time we did this show was February 23rd, so it's 3 weeks later. I took the prices tonight at 8:21, tonight being March 16th, right after St. Patrick's Day. I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, the last time silver was 1636. Tonight it's 1563. That's 73 cents. That's a 4.5% change. Gold went from 1203.97 to 1156.20. That's 47.77. It's 4%. Not really all that bad for 3 weeks. Bitcoin went up from 238.59 to 290.23. That's 51.64. That's 21.6%. Right. So yeah, that's the difference in the prices. Again, this has been a 3-week difference as opposed to 1 week, so a bit of a rocky change with Bitcoin. I'm not really sure how it's been going on over the last few weeks. Have you been checking the prices, Zane, lately, or you're not that hard into Bitcoin?
I don't check prices on anything because I'm really busy, liking political memes on Facebook and going to school and working on Spanish and stuff, and I have track and stuff, so all this economic stuff it goes over my head. It's not too far over, but I mean I don't have a lot of time or interest in it right now. Maybe later.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, I know you will.
Yeah, right on. At least he's honest, man.
Arrogant. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know a lot of people
What are you talking about? I love Bitcoin.
I know a lot of people who, when asked the question that you were just asked, are not going to be like, oh, it just goes over my head. They're going to lie to you and give you bad information and try to know what they're talking about.
Right, and I'd have to cut it.
Yeah.
So, no, seriously, it's really important to know this stuff, in my opinion, but more for the long term. Day to day, it's not going to matter. It really doesn't. Because, the prices are volatile. It'll go, for example, silver will go up $2 and then it'll go down $2 and then it'll keep on going
for
down.
Example,
go up,
Bitcoin,
and then it'll go down.
For example, Bitcoin will go up to $1,500 and then down to $265.
Yeah, that kind of happened. But over 3 years.
Yeah.
Again, long term.
I guess I should use this. I want to use this opportunity to jump into this event I went to a few weeks ago, right in JB's backyard, actually.
Indeed, and I had no idea you were going to go until that day.
Yeah, sorry, man. If you're not a student, it was like $150 though. Not that I'm a student anymore. I just still have my ID and it's still valid. So I went to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the most prominent architectural and engineering school in the entire world, MIT, yep, right down by Boston over there, and I went to the MIT Bitcoin Expo 2015. It was such a good.
I saw some videos about that.
Yeah, it was a really good time, man. I got to interview the guy who does the graphics for our show, who also runs the artofnotbeinggoverned.com, notbeinggoverned.com, and the Art of Not Being Governed on Facebook. He runs cryptographics.com, who is the person who did our graphics for this show free of charge. Jamie Redman, and I got to rack his mind a little bit and see what's up, and had a good time doing that. He just confirmed. Well, we didn't confirm because we didn't set a day, but he's going to be our guest on here within the next few weeks. He's a busy guy, and as Josh and I were talking about earlier, if people are too busy making us more free, we're okay with them not coming on the show, right? So I got to do that. I got to see Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, do a 35-minute speech. I got to see Andreas Antonopoulos demolish the state, demolish every anti-Bitcoin sentiment that you could ever come up with. This third panel I watched was, about Bitcoins and regulation and legality and all this stuff. And, I thought 2 out of the 3 lawyers on the stage were talking in support of the state and talking about potentially turning Bitcoin into, fiat from what I gathered. And Andreas Antonopoulos got up there and he's like, if you people, he got up in the crowd, there was microphones in the crowd for crowd questions, and he walked up and asked, he's like, if you people think that Bitcoin is doing well because of the state, rather than in spite of it, you need your legal degrees taken away from you, right? and he wrecked him. He was furious, and it was beautiful. Yeah, it was a really, really, really good time. I'm definitely going next year too, and I think it's only going to expand. There's this whole MIT Bitcoin Club, and of all the places that I want Bitcoin to be studied, I think that might be the spot, right? The smartest engineers, architects, and computer engineers in the world. Yeah, please. So
Absolutely.
I suggest you guys check that out. MIT Bitcoin Expo 2015 was this year. Obviously, next year will be 2016. I put out a few videos about it myself. Andreas Antonopoulos on Bitcoin MIT 2015, and Abolishing Authority with Jamie Redman at Bitcoin Expo 2015. Catch that on my YouTube channel, Michael Freeman. And here's to shameless self-promotion.
Hallelujah.
No, but really, man, I wish that Josh, I wish that you and I had talked about that beforehand. I wasn't sure that I was going to go until very soon before, so.
I'm not sure I would have been able to make it. I think I was in New York at that time, but
yeah, you were.
It would have been awesome because it seemed like you needed some technical assistance. But yeah. I would have loved to be there. Yeah, for sure. MIT. It's seriously. It's right down the street, in a way.
Yeah, I kind of needed my technical computer friend to be with me for that one.
There you go.
I'll be humble like Zane. I'll take Zane's example and be humble, because whenever it comes to techie Bitcoin stuff, no
Me humble? Nah.
The kid who just admits that economics goes over his head, I'd call that humble.
Well, that does. I do know. I can name every capital of every country if you want some ego.
No, I don't even believe in borders, man.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of. No, I'm kidding.
I can count 50 stars on the American flag.
So, yeah, what else can we talk about?
I thought you didn't you have an article you wanted to touch upon some police brutality happening in I don't remember which state you said.
Apparently it was March 1st. I couldn't find a name, but basically what happened was I think it was a group of cops, like 7 or 8 cops, where 3 of them or 4 of them were kind of keeping others away to not intrude on what the other cops were doing, which was pulling this homeless guy's gun and basically beating him up, tasering him, and then killing him with his own gun.
Wait, he had a gun?
What happened. He had a gun, yes.
I don't care, but just for the audience's sake, was this legal? Was he a felon? Was he allowed to be carrying a firearm?
Yeah, that's another thing. I couldn't find any more information than that, except for witness accounts. That's all. Yeah, it's not like it was covered up. I mean, it was in the LA Times, which is amazing. But this was a couple weeks ago, and I didn't follow through with it much more than that. So I don't know. But I did see a video, and it was reposted on Facebook multiple times. So, you should have got a view of it. But
I'm sure I did, man. But like, at this point, I can't watch it anymore. I can't watch people be murdered by the people whose job is to extort money from them anymore. If I continue to, and I had a big phase where I was watching, cop blocker videos or like police brutality videos every day for like 3 hours, right? And if I continued to do that, I'm going to be one of these radical people who goes out and starts to physically act, right? And I don't want to do that because I understand how impractical it is. I kind of like breathing, right?
Yeah.
And as these things turn out, just like Free and just like the 2 kids in Las Vegas last year, Amanda and that's all I got. I'm sorry, I don't remember their names. But the 2 kids who they went up and made a bunch of Facebook posts about the revolution. They went out to the Bundy Ranch there, and they wwere asked to leave by some of the people who headed that up because they were, I don't know, convicted criminals or too radical or something. And then they went in and went into a store and shot a cop who was just eating lunch, and eventually did a murder-suicide, right? But what I think the problem with that is it doesn't limit the state, it doesn't stop the state, it only fucking promotes it. Like if people go out and shoot cops, that's going to give the cops every reason for these tanks and the militarization and the drastic increases in numbers and riot gear and all this crazy stuff. And unfortunately, it's not only not effective, it's not only not intuitive or productive, it is counterproductive. Going out and hurting the police like that is going to make the world less free. That's going to make more cops and more tanks, more checkpoints.
Right. I mean,
you're morally justified to do it.
Well, justified, yes, but only if people actually see it and understand it and recognize it as justified. But simply put, evil begets evil. That's exactly what you're saying. The more violence you put across, the more violence that the government's going to put across.
Yes, I almost agree with you, but at the same time,
right.
Where do you draw the line? Mm-hmm. If people come to your house, Josh, and steal your pretty flag and your new headphones and awesome microphone and point guns at a za, right? When does violence not beget violence? When I don't know. I don't know how to put this into words.
That's obviously going to be okay with most people. It's self-defense. A lot of people, or there are some people, especially in this state, that would say, no, it's not justified for me to react in kind. But no, for most of us, that would be obviously okay. But the problem is a lot of people say that the government is justified, and it's not. People don't understand that it starts with theft. It starts with taxation. They don't get that. So that's the problem that we're dealing with. We're dealing with people that are indoctrinated. That's all it is. So
sure.
We have to put that across as we have to state that we basically have to stop feeding the beast in one way or another. And yes, I'm one of those that has to pay taxes, but I'm not going to just stop unless we all stop, or most of us stop, because then that would send across a message.
So it's a pack mentality thing. So it's a let me think.
Unfortunately, yes.
So it's a collectivist idea.
Unfortunately, because I don't want to die. I don't want to die, dude.
No, I get you, Josh, man. I do. Like, yeah, maybe I don't file taxes and that kind of thing, but you of all people know how much beer I drink, so believe how much sales tax I pay, right?
Oh, sure.
Like before we went live earlier today, I paraphrased Tony Styles, and I'm going to do it again. There are no anarchists at least in America. There are no anarchists. We are anarchist wannabes. But at the same time, you have to take self-preservation into an account. You are not going to be free if you are dead. You're not going to be free if you're in a cage. If you don't pay taxes, at least from what, and you're in Massachusetts too. That's a whole nother beast. But if you don't pay taxes, they're at least going to come try to take your stuff, and I don't think you're going to let them take your stuff. So you're not going to survive, basically. So it makes more sense to just pay them.
Live free or die, I guess.
Well, live or oh god.
Live or die.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, pretty much. Live or die, right? You're not going to be free if you're dead. You're not.
Live or die. Actually, it's more, it's in the Declaration of Independence. Yes, I'm quoting that document.
Oh, God. No.
But life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Life, there is no liberty without life. There's no life without liberty. They go hand in hand. It literally is life and liberty or death.
I think that all three of us right here are empirical evidence of the fact that there is life without liberty.
No, that's called
unless you're free, Josh. Are you free?
I don't think I'm free, but I see the way I see it. I'm just existing. I don't have actual life. I don't have my own wings, as it were. Yeah, that's the difference. You know,
Okay.
it's not just it's existence,
Wow.
slavery. You know what I'm saying?
That's really deep, Josh. You don't even utilize cannabis products.
No, see, my thing is
It's like a real Jaden Smith.
about it. What happened?
You're like
No,
a real
it's-
Jaden Smith, man.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I'm just, I've been thinking you know, these founding fathers haven't been all that far off the base, but you know, a lot of them were more evil than they let on, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that like owning people and genocide is kind of off base myself.
Right. That's kind of what we're doing
Like,
right now.
I don't really
We're
care
owned by
about-
a state.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the founding fathers go, like I don't really care about their philosophy when they're owning people and like binding me into violent servitude, right?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
You know,
with
you know my intentions argument that I always go back to, right?
I understand, but I'm saying at least they covered up their bullshit with actual philosophy, you know, life and liberty and all this other stuff, and then the state is a bunch of bullshit.
I think it's
You
a
know what I mean?
lie. I think it's all a lie, really. Like, I'm not sure that like George Washington ever existed, really. Like, cause how would I know that? How would I even prove that? All I'm doing is being told these things by my oppressors. So I'm kind of inclined not to believe what they tell me, right? And
Who cares?
yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, the Ride of Revere is used to be a very influential story to me. I know that it's not true. I know that it didn't happen that way, but at the same time, it's a really nice fable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I like Star Wars.
Right, just
but
like the
that shit
whole
never
story of
happened.
The
Socrates.
Bible.
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
I don't
There you
know.
go.
I'm pretty sure the Bible kind of is like, let's kill the gays and stuff. So,
Nah. That's only like a little part.
Leviticus in the Old Testament's only a little part. Pretty sure that was the main.
Just don't eat oysters, man. You'll go to
Yeah.
hell for that.
Yeah. Yep. You know.
To me, the only good part of the Bible is the Ten Commandments, and you don't even need all of it.
Oh, I'm
You
going to
don't.
put somebody.
You need
I'm going
like
to put somebody
don't
on
steal
blast.
and don't murder.
I'm going to put somebody on blast here, and I'm going to tag him when I share this video, and I'll even tell it. I can't see the time here, but there's a very particular Christian anarchist whose perspective I want to get on this show. He's very articulating. He's a very smart kid. Him and I might disagree on a few things, but
Is it Anand?
no, Corey McCall. Ladies and gentlemen, Corey McCall being called to the stage. No,
Number 55.
Stand up. Please stand up.
Gosh, next time you make a commercial, use that voice, okay?
All right, I'm good.
But right, he has a really good perspective, and he would never point a gun at me to force me to do a damn thing. So I want to get him on the show and give him the opportunity to try to convince me into Christian anarchism. I'm not the most overly educated atheist. I'm not. But I don't believe. I have no evidence of believing. If you can provide that to me, give it to me in an empirical and factual way, I might change my mind. And I challenge you, Corey.
It's funny. You'd rather debate about religion, but not morality.
Wah, wah.
At this, no, I'm ready. I'm like, we're too late in the show to start that now, but
No, of course.
I'm actually ready. I'm ready to do it.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
See?
I don't have a position anymore. I don't care, dude. I don't care what words
No,
you
it doesn't matter
describe
much.
the things that you care about. Like, if you're pointing guns at people, you're immoral. By the definition of the term, I think. And when it comes to nihilism, objectivism, subjectivism, this whole thing, I just don't care. I just don't care anymore. Just really don't. Like, I want to
You
just
don't
do
care
what's...
about nihilism?
I'm sorry?
You don't care about nihilism? That's great.
Oh, I see. I like puns. Good. I didn't even catch that.
It's not even a pun.
Well, I think that nihilism is an entirely misconstrued concept because people think that, like, we'll take nihilism like people will take anarchism. Like, anarchism means Molotov cocktails and pitchforks and, like, I don't know, burning banks down or something like that, right? And people at the same time will think that nihilism means a lack of morality and that you believe in doing what is immoral, where that's just entirely not the case. It's just a different outlook on the way that people behave or the way that people make decisions.
I can kind of attest for the anarchy analogy with the Molotov cocktails and stuff, because my grandfather owned a bank in the 60s.
Oh, God.
And that was when the whole anarchist movement was just starting, and he got taken to the lot.
I'm really gonna have to disagree with you on the fact that the anarchism movement started in the 60s. Like, Henry David Thoreau was alive hundreds of years ago. There's an argument for Locke, Socrates, maybe.
I'm not gonna argue that, okay? But that's kind of like the stereotypical Molotov cocktail anarchists you imagine, right?
Yep. The black masks over their faces and stuff.
Yeah, they were causing a lot of trouble up at his bank, because he's like an investment bank or whatever. I don't know. I don't care anymore.
I would go as far as to say that the Black Bloc anarchist movement started in the 60s. This violent, let's destroy private property movement, or whatever they do, right?
Yeah.
Like the radical activist anarcho-communists. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Sure. So what happened?
Basically, they caused a lot of trouble. Like, it gave anarchists a really bad name in that day and age. I guess it wasn't really like too much of a common term before then, wasn't it? So, yeah, and like, I don't know. My father and my mother have heard of those, and that's the idea they get when they hear anarchy. So when I tell them about like anarchy and like the dissolution of a state, they're just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And
like the last time
that's
that
understandable.
The last time that I heard the word anarchy used in recent popular culture was in The Purge 2, a movie about people slaughtering each other, right? So I think that it is intentional that people don't know what that word means.
Right. Absolutely.
The last time I heard the word anarchy is it was that dumb Democrat in Congress calling the Republicans anarchists.
I don't watch the politics of our lives anymore. I don't, but I do know I don't know who said I don't know who said this, but I did see it a few weeks ago. And dude, at this point, this is the 15th time I've been classified as a domestic terrorist already. I'm just over it, really. Even when I was like a neocon constitutionalist, I was classified as a domestic terrorist. So whatever, just lump me in with ISIS. It's okay, whatever.
Yeah, just more words.
Words, it's just soup salad. That's all, man.
ISIS
Alphabet
is still better
soup.
than the government.
I agree with you. They're at least trying to make a free competitive currency. They're at least not using fiat. They're backing it, dude. Right? They're also chopping, if they exist, I still can't prove that, but if they exist, they're like chopping people's heads off, and that's terrible, but I'm pretty sure the American government's doing that stuff too. Maybe not with machetes, but definitely with drones. Definitely with all kinds of military horrible action, right?
Well, the Islamic State is exactly that, a state, and they're not as an influential state as the American government. And the American government hates the Islamic State, so it's all-out war.
Well,
my problem is, timeout. You can't...
It's not war, because Obama's against war. I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See, this can't be true, okay? ISIS cannot be a real thing, because how can Islam... which is a religion across the world, have a state that exists only in one place? I mean,
I can actually come up with a pretty good explanation. How about the Vatican, JB?
Yes, agreed. But it's
How about
one
Vatican
little tiny thing, and they recognize it with borders and everything.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It really is a thing.
The problem here is that there's nothing is defined, right? Like the war on terror or the war on ISIS or the war. We're just talking about a war on an idea, ISIS is. I don't think that ISIS is a state. I think that ISIS might be a loose-knit group of people who are all rallying around the same "let's go fuck shit up" because our countries have been being invaded for 30 years, right? And I can't entirely disagree with that.
That's only if it exists. I think
I don't have any tinfoil around to put up on here, but I agree with you, man. All I know about ISIS, and I have been in that country. I've been in numerous of the countries that they're talking about, supposed or alleged to be operating in. The only time that I've ever heard that term is from other libertarians who are discussing ridiculous politics, current events, and mass media manipulation through the mass media, through the politicians, and through other special interest groups that have corporate political interests.
Right.
So I have no reason to believe that. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you believe in reason, evidence, and logic, and believing what you can prove to be real, I cannot prove ISIS to be real. Socrates would smack me right in my face if I said that if I said that I could.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's not actually belief. You know that it can't be real unless you get more evidence, basically, at this point.
I guess I would have to call myself agnostic on the topic. I'm inclined to not believe. I'm inclined to believe that the state is incentivized to lie to me. So I'm inclined to initially throw out their narrative.
Right. So the thing is, the only way you could nail this in the coffin, if you will, is if you got more evidence and it lined up. And the thing is, you have to remember, people are innocent before proven guilty, right?
so you can catch us.
Still prove it.
Quoting the United States judicial process.
Say that again.
Quoting the United States judicial process.
So you can catch us next week here on the Currency of Anarchy on the Live from Iraq Is ISIS Real edition.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Dude, I want to go.
I'm all set, buddy.
I'm all for it.
If you're buying the plane, Josh, if you're gonna fork up the money for those plane tickets, let's just do it in Maui instead. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't ride planes because of the TSA. I just won't go on yet.
I won't ride planes because of the TSA, says the guy who willfully lives in Massachusetts.
Ooh.
That's why I'm moving. Idiot.
Stupid.
Oh, damn.
Ah, man, dude, you're killing me.
Come off, baby. When? Yeah, no, okay. I was just gonna ask, when are you going up?
What, to New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be moving in June, actually, now. I thought it was going to be July, but it'll be June. Probably June 1st, hopefully.
And you're
going I should say hopefully, not probably.
And that's to Nashua?
Yeah, Nashua.
Now,
which is
are you
literally 10 minutes away from here.
Are you going to become, or are you already a member of the Free State Project?
I have not, and I might, but kind of doubt it. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to wrap up the show. Zane, where can we find your YouTube channel, Zane?
I don't actually know the URL, but it's you can search my name. It's just Zane Goodell. It's like Jane Goodall, you know, that primate specialist, whatever, biologist. Just Zane and an E instead of an A in Goodell.
If you guys want to check Zane out, for any of you guys who follow my YouTube stuff,
yeah, check me out.
Yeah, I have him highlighted, and we're definitely going to, after the fact, before this official video comes out, I'll get the link from him privately, and we'll make sure to incorporate it into the video.
Alrighty.
Nice. Yeah. So next week, do we have anybody lined up next week, Michael?
We do. We have Sarah Perkins lined up next week. She is an unschooling mother. I think she might live on a farm or something like that. She runs a Facebook page called Dirty Anarchist Kids, which, you know what? I don't want to explain it. Yeah, just think of it as you will. It means pitchforks, Molotov cocktails, mud, and children. It's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely a lot of mud. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
those are some of my favorite things.
Yeah. So check her out. She'll be on next week. We might bring in another regular Currency of Anarchy guest, but we have yet to talk to him about it, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. But we're probably going to do the unschool edition of the Currency of Anarchy. So, though, Zane, as a matter of fact, Josh, why don't you take it away?
Okay, yeah. Zane, we'd like to invite you in, I believe in 2 weeks, we're going to have a roundtable discussion. If you'd like to be a part of that, we'll probably be talking about a slew of things, and we'll just, have probably probably about 4 or 5 guests, or 4 guests.
I thought you were going to end that with beers for some reason.
Beers? No, that's implied.
I'll end it with beers.
That's implied. So.
Whoa, Josh, you're talking to a minor.
I don't care. I'm an anarchist. Who cares? Look, so you do what you will. I'll do what I will. I'm gonna have my coffee because that's usually what I do. I mean, here, coffee. Anyway, but yeah. So the roundtable discussion is probably in about 2 weeks. I believe that's right. And next week we'll have Sarah, and that will be March 23rd is the live show. And that show will be on the air, edited, March 25th. So everyone, thank you very much for watching, and take care of yourselves.